Da, 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 da. We are on. Hello. How
Hi,
are you?
I'm good. Good
Good morning.
evening. Good
Yeah.
morning here. Good evening for you. It's somewhere in the future. Hi.
I know. Don't worry. We survived. It's okay. We're going to
Good.
get through the night. Well, thank you for joining me today or tonight.
Thank you for
I
having me.
appreciate it.
I like it.
Um, I have been in your presence for a few years now, and there's a few of us that have been around the Facebook ads land for a while and have seen the journey. But Rutger, I want you to kind of start off by, before we get into the exciting world that is TrendTracker, let's talk a bit about your background, because you have had a bit of a different angle than a lot of us in the Facebook land. So maybe I'll throw over to you to jump in there.
Yeah, so okay, so this is the long version. I guess it all started maybe 8 years or so, maybe now. I came from a scuba diving background.
Naturally.
I have scuba diving sort of. It all started with whatever scuba diving background and traveling the world. Wanted to sort of live abroad, and this was sort of in my 20s. Oh, that's long ago when you think about this. Either way, but from that, I came back to the Netherlands and started working for a few startups here in Amsterdam, which was pretty freaking awesome back in the days. And then from there, I developed my own startup, which was Book Your Dive, etc. And I'm still in the scuba diving business. But at some point, while we're doing so, Book Your Dive was lead gen for scuba diving operations. All good. But in the wake of that, we at some point decided it would be a good idea to build an agency that would build websites and do online marketing for the scuba diving operations. Great idea. But here's what happened. So this was sort of Blue Brand. That was sort of the first stage of the whole agency thing. And then that sort of took off, but not necessarily in the scuba diving space, more sort of in the corporate space. I'm like, oh, well, that's weird. So there was sort of a natural pivot going on there. So that's how I rolled into, back then we did sort of content creation, web design, etc. And then I ran into Cat Howell. I think I was one of the first, maybe the second batch of the academy back in the days. Rolled in, did everything up, down, back, forth, was in it, was awesome. That's sort of how I joined the community. Sort of the community grew from there, that the community that we're in and that we're still in, although that the academy and everything, that's not there anymore. It's still there, but it's sort of in a different form. But then after, I think, 2 or 3 years, sort of trying to sort of working my way into Facebook ads, media buying, etc., I ran into something back then that was ManyChat. ManyChat was super new. There was nothing. It was just new. It was by the time that Facebook opened up the Messenger API.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, this really happened. I was in the office in Amsterdam, and my girlfriend, I like to say girlfriend, but technically it's my wife. But she got laid off, and she was sort of in the office, and she was just looking at what we're going to do. And like, hey, join me in the agency. It's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be fun. What could go wrong? And then at some point,
nothing ever goes wrong in agency land.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, they said. And then I said, yeah, you know what? You're going to look at that ManyChat thing and then figure out what that is and let me know, and then we'll talk about it. And then sort of 2 hours later, so, you got something already? No. What do you mean, no? I'll do it myself. Fuck off. This actually happened. I was like, oh, never mind. So, okay, so we never got to do the agency together, I guess. I think she sort of...
I don't know why.
I think she jetted out of the office and then like, you know what, fuck you with your agency. I'm going to do something else. But either way, I jumped in ManyChat, and literally it sort of got me. It's sort of the whole thing, not necessarily the whole ManyChat thing, because ManyChat is more vehicle, but I got sucked into it, and I realized then, maybe not then and there, but sort of automations, marketing automations, that's what makes me tick.
Yeah.
And I think I don't even think it's more pivot, but I sort of drifted towards building those automations and going in. And I was fairly early on that. I started making some noise. I was excited about it. So I did videos and did some stuff with Kat, and quickly I became the bot guy.
The BotFather.
Which then became the BotFather, and then I never looked back. In the last 3, so from there, the last 3 or 4 years has been all in on messenger bots and everything that comes with it. ups and downs with the whole messenger bot sphere, rules and regulations, ban hammers, everything from super sexy and hot new kid on the block messenger to a little bit not so cool as it was. And I think now with the whole AI thing, we're going to see a huge revival in chat marketing, not necessarily messenger. I got some stuff on that as well, but yeah, I think I'm staying in my lane, still with marketing automation, messenger, a bit of email, because those are just things that come really close together. And in the wake of that, there's sort of about 6 months ago, could be longer, but I think let's stick to 6 months. About 6 months ago, I had an epiphany with sort of messenger related, because one of the top questions that people always ask, you don't see it that much anymore, because I think everybody now sort of realized you're just not able to do it. One of the top questions that people always asked in the groups was, how can we fire a pixel?
Yeah.
Or how can we fire a Facebook event inside of ManyChat? And this is specifically ManyChat. So the short-long answer is no, you can't. If you're using ManyChat, etc. And then the longish answer, more technical answer is yes, you could work with app events, etc. But then you would have to do custom builds, blah 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 blah, all that. But then at some point, again 6 months ago, give or take, I had an epiphany. Like, this is it. The closest thing to firing a pixel in, let's say, your ManyChat flow, or if you're using ChatFuel, whatever it is, doesn't really matter, would be to add an action in your flow that would trigger an offline event.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody, and that could then be a purchase, or that could be a lead, or whatever you want it to be. And so let's say somebody goes through your messenger flow and they give you, they share their email, whatever, and you qualify that as a lead, whatever it is. Then we would fire. That was the idea. So we build an app for that. We build a ManyChat app, we build a Facebook app. And then little did I know what was about to happen there. Then sort of we built that app with Ed, my technical partner in crime. And then I quickly realized, so we built an interface for that, and it was like, okay, this is going to be great. So, I mean, we can use it for ManyChat, you could use it for ActiveCampaign, you could use it for Shopify, you can use it for everything, and then you don't have to use Zapier anymore, and then you can just pull in this data, and we push to the offline conversion API. You have something better than using Zapier or whatever. And that was sort of my exit goal. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to sell this for $10 a month, and then everybo's going to use it. I'm never going to look back, and go back into scuba diving and all that kind of stuff. No, that didn't happen.
Digital progressed.
Yeah, and then, exactly. Yeah, and then like, wait. We now got this app, and we got this all approved, and a little bit of an interface. And then I saw that with the app, we had access to ad account data. And then everything sort of came together, sort of what I've learned in the last, 6 years, academy, coaching, and all that. And one of the top things that people, sort of what I realized and sort of what I saw happening in these calls, in these coaching calls and whatnot, is that people, just regular people, just like you and me, find it difficult to interpret data, performance data from, in this scenario, Ads Manager. Like, my brain just sort of sometimes just on fire, and then like, hey, what if we would take this data from these ad accounts in the app, and what if we would structure it in a logical way so it's easy to identify trends? Well, and that's sort of the start of TrendTracker.
Amazing. Well, before we get into TrendTracker, I guess something that you touched on before is the whole thing as marketers, I think, is that we're just trying to basically get as much overview as to what people are doing. And it has been really hard to do that for a long time, right? Yeah. So basically you've got Facebook itself, as you mentioned, has been really, really, really challenging to navigate. Even people who are experienced in the platform, as you said, it's very challenging to even be able to decipher stuff. A lot of the events aren't tracking, a lot of the purchase stuff's not pulled through. It can be really muddy and really, really messy. And at the same time, if you're having to cross-reference that to your clients' business goals or your own business goals and KPIs, it's bloody hard to do.
It is.
So I think this has been a really interesting time. And obviously we spoke first about this I don't know, 6 weeks ago, maybe? I don't know. Time has gone so crazy the last few weeks. It's insane. But the first thing I heard about TrendTracker and what you've done there, I was very, very intrigued. Obviously I'm putting my agency hat on, but at the same time, in my opinion, I'll get you get into it. It's very exciting for me because it just is going to allow more, if you're an ad buyer and an agency person, to help more clients and be more strategic. So I want to throw over to you and talk a bit about the tech, how it works, and obviously where you're at with it and why it's
Yeah.
so fabulous.
Well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So, okay, I'm not going to downplay this, but I just want to sort of say one thing up where you are at where you are. Oh man, I don't know. I'm going to show everything, but we're just scratching the surface. I guess
Yeah.
that's sort of. I just want to put that up front. We're just scratching the surface, and the goal for TrendTracker, and it's something that evolves as we go as well. But the goal for TrendTracker is to help. Media buyers, mainly in sort of, for now we're focusing on agencies, and the reason why we're
Yeah.
focusing on agencies is freelancers that work with at least sort of more than one client, and the main reason for that is because one of the things that we want to start focusing on within TrendTracker is benchmark reporting. How is your performance stacking up against similar pages in your niche? So that said, we're just scratching the surface. Let me just, can I share my screen?
Yeah. There's a little thing with the moon.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm getting there, technology. So while you're getting into that as well, I think one of the biggest problems that we've come across, as I mentioned earlier, is the fact that we can't necessarily get the right data from Facebook. And he left the video. Cool. I'll just give a kind of overview, but I guess the main thing we've, as an agency, found is that it's been really, really difficult to get the right information. So when you're trying to optimize, especially in Ads Manager, it's hello, welcome back. I'll just explain.
I was gone. Sorry, I was.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was just explaining that, as an agency, how difficult it's been to really use the Facebook platform. There's been so many changes lately, and obviously with a lot of the issues around, Safari and Firefox, obviously cookies and all that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of, let's just say, we've been challenged quite a while. And I think the best thing here is what you've been able to do. Oh, we're going into
Matrix mode.
Matrix. Welcome to the machine learning model. This is cool.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Let's see how
it's okay.
This. Share screen instead of own video. Let's do that. Is this also Matrix stuff?
It's me now.
Yeah. No.
Oh, there we go. Flip over.
Yeah. That's working. Yes,
yeah, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yahoo! We're in.
Cool. Yeah. So let's just leave this on the screen, and then let's sort of just jam a little bit more.
I wonder if I can. Hang on, I'm going to see if I can just change the layout. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
I think so. Hang on. Technology, man. Stay with us, team. Here we go. I think it's going to... Yeah, there we are. We're live. Go. Rock and roll.
Okay, nice. So what you just, it's difficult to interpret data because there's so many things, there's just so many things happening in your ad account. And for now we're just focusing on Facebook, but other channels are coming. But it's not only about Facebook, it's more about data interpretation, performance data, structuring the performance data in a way so you can even start interpreting the data. And then when you start interpreting the data, you need to come up with sort of meaningful conclusions that sort of lead to actions. Yeah, all those things are all steps. You cannot skip one before you can get to the other. And at this stage, my goal is to sort of skip those, do the heavy lifting for our users so they can actually directly go into data interpretation or start interpreting the data and start drawing meaningful conclusions which lead to actions. And
I think just before you get into that, I totally agree. And I think what you just touched on something there, and I've been saying this a lot lately, is to be able to make this effective as possible, you can have amazing technology like this, but you have to very, very clearly understand, if you're going to use it from a business point of view, what your KPIs are, what you're trying to achieve. And I think if businesses do that, then using a tool like this is going to be able to supercharge it. So I think that's just one takeaway I want people to think about. If you understand what you need to do, what your elements, we'll run through KPIs, I'm sure, on this soon, but if you understand this, this is going to supercharge your results. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's go.
And that's the whole thing. And my goal is I want to do sort of that heavy lifting for you. So it's just going to save you incredible amounts of time. It's probably going to save you headspace or create headspace for you. So you can use that for other stuff, sort of meaningful stuff, project management, new business development, whatever it is. And again, we're just scratching the surface, but what we have now is the base for what we're going to roll out in the next couple of weeks. We're going to show you everything. We're going to share some updates that we're working on now. Long story short, when you connect to TrendTracker, you connect through Facebook. You select the pages that you want to connect to TrendTracker. When you've done that, so that's click, click, click. You don't have to have any technical knowledge for that. Then you connected your Facebook pages that you want to connect to TrendTracker. You're going to come into your dashboard like this. All these cards represent obviously the page that you connected. Now, I just want to ask one thing. The data that I'm going to show here is actual client data. So yeah, please guys, keep this sort of between us. So you're going to click on view reports. When you do this for the first time, it's going to take a little bit longer because it's going to pull in data by default out of the box from the last 30 days. Now, one thing you didn't see, what I didn't show, but when you connect your pages, sort of in, let me just go back. Do I have another one? Yeah, connect, just like this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to select your ad account. Right? You're going to select the ad account that you want to do, and you're going to select your niche. And this is an important one. And we're going to go sort of very, very bullish on sort of the niche selector, because what we're going to do is we're going to use that data. It's all aggregated. It's all anonymized. But we're going to, we have those data sets in the backend per niche, which allows us to start comparing your actual performance to similar pages in that niche. So I just want to sort of show you that. That's not built in, but that's sort of what we're building. It's already built in, but we're not showing the data on that level yet, because that's something that we're working on currently now. So out of the box.
And just to preface, while you're going through this, guys, just remember this is in. Oh, is it even in beta? Like, it's just purely the first iteration, right? So I'm just
it's the first iteration.
So fast.
Yeah, beta. I don't know if it's beta. It's working. It's good. People are getting just getting really great value from it based on the feedback that we're getting. Julia yesterday told me she actually landed a client because she was able to show TrendTracker, and the client was like, "Oh yeah, I love this. We keep it simple too." Boom, signed the deal. Reggie told me the other day he was doing an audit with a client, and they were actually going to go here, and they saw sort of this big sort of a wall of red. I'm going to go into this, which allowed them to find a bottleneck in the funnel, which he could solve, and therefore his ads started performing better, and he was making his client more money. So yeah, people are just getting.
That's always a good thing.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I can see why that would be a positive outcome.
It is, and sure, there's a whole lot of things that are not in there yet, but that's the stuff that we're working on. I'm going to walk you through that now. So TrendTracker out of the box, click, 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 boom, you have this. There's nothing you have to do. I think one of the strengths of the platform is that you cannot edit anything. You don't have to create your own dashboards or whatever. You don't have to create your own rules to pull in specific data. We do all that shit for you. So it's out of the box, boom, just like this. We have, for now, more are coming. We have 6 done for you reports. Look at this. You can even hide the freaking sidebar. We got 6 done for you reports. Out of the box, it shows the data from the last 30 days. It shows it at the account level. This is the top level BIS KPIs. We're just going to quickly walk through this one. We got this cards here. These cards show the sum or the average for this specific KPI for the given time frame. And obviously this little line chart represents sort of the day-to-day trend there. So this is, we can see, hey, well, what happened here? Sort of why do we have a significant drop in purchases here? What is coming, I think that's important. What's coming is what we want to do is we want to have an additional line in here that is going to represent the aggregated value for that KPI from the similar pages in your niche. So out of the box, you will be able to see how am I doing? How is my performance stacking up against the similar pages in the niche.
Yeah, so general
Then
industry benchmarks is what you're kind of
industry
looking at there,
benchmarks,
yeah?
exactly.
Yeah.
Industry benchmarks.
Yeah.
So that's something that's common. Whether we do it in here or whether if we're going to do it also in here, and what we're going to do for 100% is we're going to have a separate section in here that's going to call it industry benchmark. That's going to be named industry benchmarks. Where we're also going to put it in here. That's my. But we're going to go all in on benchmarks. So you got that there. That's, I think, nice to see. Then we got a mixed line chart. The mixed line chart gives you sort of the correlation between the different KPIs. What you can do here is you can sort of enable and disable other KPIs as well. And then sort of if you hover on it, like on here, why is it not doing that? Yeah. Oh, there. I need to hover here. You don't even need to. So if you hover on a specific KPI, sort of it highlights it. Sort of gives you a little bit of a different reading of the data. And this is how it all started. I still think this is really valuable. The data table. What the data table does, the data table pulls in the performance from the account level, sort of the aggregated numbers at the account level per day. And what we do is we have a big word algorithm in the back end that calculates out of the box. It calculates the median value for a specific KPI, let's say your website purchases or your purchase value or CPA. And then if the value for that specific day is on the median, we color yellow. So let's say that's your benchmark, that's your baseline. If it's above or below the median, it turns red or green. And then we got 5 shades of red and we got 5 shades of green. Green is good, red is bad. So what you're able to see is here, hey, we had a pretty good run here. Then it started sort of, you see, it's sort of going down. You're going to go to the median and boom, big wall of red. Now, well, this is probably obviously because the spend was significantly decreased as well.
Yeah.
But this is, for example, an interesting red block here. Why is this red? What happened here? What happened with our our CPC? Our CPC here went significantly up, and this is more, in this case, literally a red flag. What happened here? And that's not something I'm able to answer you. I'm not able to give that answer, but this gives you sort of direct insights on a potential bottleneck in your funnel. My sales conversion rate here started dropping as well. What's going on? What did we change? Did we do anything?
And I think for a lot of people, just before we move on there, I think a lot of people who are new to Facebook ads or are new to analyzing data, by having a visualization like that, even color coded, just helps it so much. And there are so many elements when it comes to, for those of you that don't necessarily understand how a campaign is structured, so many of those different variables can completely change the outcome. So as you mentioned, like if your CPC suddenly increases and you're getting less traffic for the same amount or whatever, there's so many elements that you can look at. And by doing this, it just saves you so much time, so much energy. And that's what we're saying, to get shit done, right? So I think there's real value in this to be able to provide more value and a faster and insight.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Because this is going to take you 3 clicks to set it up, and then 1 click whenever you log in, and boom, you have that data at your fingertips. But hold that thought, because we're going to do more with this data. This still requires you to look at it and make some interpretations, etc. But yeah, the fact that you don't have to jump through burning hoops or have to have a math degree to get this set up like this, that's going to save you tons of time as well.
Absolutely. But wait, there's more. Yes.
Wait, there's more. And there will be more, and there will be more, and there will be more. But so I'm just going to stick to this for now. The line graphs are cool. These are going to change over time. Over the next couple of weeks, are going to change a little bit, but you get the gist. The thing is, out of the box, TrendTracker is going to show you the data. Sort of is going to show the color coding based on the median values. Great, but not so great. What you want to do, what's more valuable, what's more interesting to any media buyer, agency, freelancer out there is how is my performance stacking up against my goals? Because median is just a median. I mean, if I have a bad month, but so what you want to do is you want to set your goals for specific KPIs. And throughout the platform, we're also forcing you to set your goals, because there are some features, which I'm going to touch upon in a sec, that you cannot enable when you didn't set your goals. And the main thought about this is, when you set your goals, we can alert you and we can guide you. We can alert you first if a specific performance, if a specific KPI is underperforming compared to your goal. We can alert you. We'll get there in a sec. And when we alert you, we can actually advise you, give you advice, recommends on why this might be happening and how you can counter it. And then from there, you probably need to, you're on your own, but then you can always sort of ask our messenger bot, sort of, now what do I need to do? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So what you want to do is you want to set your goals. So each report has, so we got this button here, set a goal. Oh, we got this button here, set a goal. We're going to change this, but the logic is going to be the same. What we're going to do, well, let me explain first how it's now. We're going to force you or ask you, I'm not going to force you, but I'm going to ask you to set your goals for specific KPIs. So when you set your goals for specific KPIs, so let's say I need 25 purchases, we need to generate 25K. Let me do it a little bit different. I need to do 10 purchases.
I don't think we're seeing the goal input on this. You might need to move the screen over slightly to the middle or something.
Like this?
Yeah, there we go. Yep, perfect. Yeah.
My CPA is 25. My AOV is then my AOV should be 75. My CPC should be 2. I'm pulling this out of thin air. My sales conversion rate is 2. My ROAS should be 3. And then I can just click out. It refreshes.
So before you get into that refreshes, so for those of you who are more traditional media buyers and are used to doing a media plan and having forecast based off your spend and all those elements, this is why I get so excited for this, because being able to put that in, and you've already given the plan to the client and they've gone, yep, and you've kind of not promised, but you've said this is what we could potentially get. This is going to help you deliver. And it's on such an easy way. So, it just excites me so much. But anyway, off you go.
Yeah. So when you set these goals, what happens is the color coding in the data table is now not anchored around the median value, but it's anchored around your goals. So now when it's green because you are overperforming compared to the goal you set. Now, if it's red, or if you see sort of a gradient going into red, you know that your KPI is underperforming compared to the goal you set. So now it actually becomes more relevant, and it really needs your attention, because you were just notified, based on sort of the visualization here, that you are underperforming against sort of the goals you set.
So there's no excuse not to get in there and optimize.
No, yeah, exactly. So, but this is, let me just sort of remove this. We're just going to remove this. What we're going to do, so at this stage, it requires manual input for each report. I'm going to go and I'm just going to show, for fun and giggles, I'm going to show another report in a sec. At this stage, at this stage, we still require you to set your goal manually. What we're currently building as we speak is when you connect your account to TrendTracker, what we're going to do is we're going to set the goals for all the reports for you, and we're going to do that based on the industry benchmarks for that specific KPI for your niche. And we're going to tell you that we're doing that, obviously. So the main idea, the main reason why we're doing this, because we found, and I know that a lot of people, agencies, freelancers, brands, whatever, find it, and Kadi, you probably recognize this, is that they find it difficult to determine what their goals are.
I have a lot to say about
that. Sorry?
I have a lot to say about that. I personally don't think you should be even touching an account that a client doesn't know what their business is trying to achieve and how your marketing plays into part of it. And I think if you do, you're in a very dangerous predicament. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. But for those that don't...
But that's the whole point. I mean, then you're going to get into a situation where the client's going to tell you, oh, it's not working, but we don't have a goal. So what are we doing? And I'm not saying that yeah, I'm not saying that the industry benchmark is sort of the holy grail, by no means, but if nothing else, it is
Totally.
just a great way to start. It's your starting point. And so that's what's coming, and when everything goes well, that should be live somewhere next week. So when you connect, we're going to set your goals. You're going to get a notification. Hey, we set the goals for the reports for you. It's based on industry benchmarks, but you will always be able to overwrite these goals. Super easy,
Brilliant.
and we're probably going to use the same interface for this. But then, boom, click, click, click. Benchmarks, data, goals are set, everything is set. You see the color coding based on your goals. The benchmarks, again, those are coming. Next step would be to, this is obvious, but let me just quickly sort of show you this. So obviously we can sort of look back. This is this is not a nifty feature, the date picker, but I want to show you something. A lot of people, what I didn't realize is that this is not by design. This is more sort of, this wasn't intended. But when you look at the bottom of the data table, you'll see the aggregated numbers for that specific KPI. And this is something that is not always as easy to retrieve from Ads Manager. Because of mixed optimizations, they just don't show the aggregated number, the average for that specific KPI. So this is something you can actually see immediately in TrendTracker. You don't have to pick a date range, but it shows it always at the bottom. But I'm just going to pick the date range for the last 7 days here. What we do is out of the box, we show everything at the account level. But what you probably want to see how a campaign is performing. So I'm not sure everybody saw that, but you can select a specific campaign from this little drop down here. And then now the date range is respected. All the other settings are respected. What we're doing is we're now showing the data, the performance data for a specific campaign. The biggest thing what we do here is you set your goals at the account level. When you select a campaign, we ignore the goals for the color coding because the goals are at the account level. So what you're seeing here is your performance for a specific campaign. Before you ask, yes.
Oh, yes, yeah. Here you go.
No. This is one of the top questions as well. You have been heard. It is coming, but for now, we're just a two-man show, two-man band. Ad account level and sort of ad set level and ad level is coming. 100%. No doubt. It's not there yet. It's not a bug. It's not a feature. It's just not there yet. It's on the roadmap. It's coming.
Brilliant. And you know what, I think for those of you actually who don't even, like, if you look at the level of campaigns that you're running, even in this one, there is, from kind of quite experienced media buyers, especially on the Facebook platform and even Google as well, there's multiple testing and multiple campaigns running over a broader strategy. So it is really important to be able to break this down and be able to see the top performing campaigns, obviously what's working, what your testing is doing, and obviously your targeting, all that kind of stuff. So there is a method to this madness. It's not just creating it for having more elements, right? There's definite, and that kind of leads into what you're saying about having KPIs at each level, but being able to look at this on a very quick basis and see the data displayed is so helpful for people managing accounts.
It is. Yeah. I guess the main thing here is just you don't have to jump through burning hoops to get all this data sorted.
Exactly.
It just works. We do it for you, and then from there you can decide how you interpret the data. If you want to enable the rules, if you want to get notifications, and there's the summary generator, which I'm going to show you in a sec. And there's other stuff that we're going to put in here as well. I'm just going to skip that for now, but just bear with me while we're further developing the platform. Just for the record, by default, it shows the dollar sign. But if you want to go into British pounds, you can put
represent
it in British
based
pounds
on
as
that.
well.
Yeah, great.
Especially if you want to share screenshots with clients, it's probably better if you do that in the related currency. Now, some other stuff here is, I just want to go to, for example, the traffic conversion funnel. And this is helpful to see how is my, let me just go in here, how is my traffic behaving when it goes through the website. So what we see here is the outbound click, the outbound click click-through rate, outbound click to landing page ratio, view content ratio, add to cart ratio. So this is all anchored around the outbound click. This is interesting here. For example, this is where you, well, maybe see a bottleneck. Hey, what's going on? This actually looks sort of at the campaign level. So no real anomalies here. Move on, go to the next one, keep going. If you go, for example, look at this report, this is where we report on the actual costs per event. So your cost per add to cart. And this is where you're going to set your goals. And these are the numbers you're going to need to determine the budget. Hey, how many what in my conversion rate, how many add to carts do I need before I can get one sale? And okay, great. Okay, I need 10 add to cart before I get one sale. Okay, then what is an add to cart? What am I able to pay for an add to cart, etc. So this is going to help you get that as well. Then we get the troubleshoot metrics. We're now looking at it at campaign level, but I think this might be more interesting at the account level as well. So let me just twice.
I think we're doing that as well. It's quite, I think this is kind of even outlining more I don't want to, maybe this will be scare people off, but whatever. I think the people that actually know how to optimize a campaign at least know the basic 101 around this stuff. They're the ones who are going to succeed, right? And just while you're doing that, are you looking at doing any training or any facilitation to kind of help people get to the level where they can use this properly?
There's going to be a video library where
awesome.
There's going to be a video library, and what I want to play around with AI avatars and creating scripts and everything. That's sort of more pet. So, but yeah, there is if you go, whatever. That's sort of there's here if you go to
come back to the question. I think the reason I asked that is because I think a lot of people could see this as being, unless you are you know what you're looking for, it could be quite overwhelming. So I think that's fantastic that you're going to have some resources just to kind of run the 100%. 101 through what all this means, because as we could talk about how valuable it is, but look, this is actually quite easy to use. It is, but you need to understand the basic foundations in order to make sure you utilize this to the maximum capacity.
100%. And there's going to be office hours as well. There are office hours as well. So all users can jump on the office hours call. We do 2 office hours on Monday morning, my time, and Monday evening. So trying to capture all time zones so you can jump on there.
Yeah, fantastic.
One of the cool things, so I mentioned the benchmarks. That's common. I'm really excited about those. But what's also really cool and super helpful, and this is sort of where we're going to trying to bring everything together, is trend alerts, notifications. So you connected your ad accounts, you set your goals, or we set your goals for you, and everything is running. Now the next step would be to enable and set your goals, set your trend alerts, and not your goals, sorry, set your notifications, your trend alerts. And for now we have 3 trend alerts. We're going to expand on this significantly anytime soon. But what you can do is you can enable alert to, let's say, you can enable an alert to get notified when for example, your ROAS or your AOV or your CPA dips a certain percentage over the last whatever couple of days. So let's say my ROAS over the last 7 days is 20% above or below my goal. Send me notification. My AOV is over the last 3 days is 10% above or below my goal I set. Same for CPA, and we're going to do this for multiple KPIs. So now at this stage, when you do this, you're going to also enable push notifications. Let me see if I have an example here. I don't have an example here. But what we're doing now, and that was just for us the easiest to implement, with browser notifications. More important thing is that the logic in the back end works. So we're going to roll this out for email, and our plan is to also include Slack. So now what's going to happen is you have this tool, TrendTracker, that is listening, that is sort of visualizing the data for you. Click, 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 done. You're going to enable your rules that are going to listen if certain KPIs are underperforming.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you get notified through whatever channel that you choose. So emails come in, browser notifications are now, Slack is coming. I'm thinking about Messenger, thinking about WhatsApp, whatever channel is relevant for you. You can sort of get those notifications. What we're going to do as well, we're going to do performance summary notifications. You get daily and weekly performance summary notifications. You're going to get those in whatever channel you want, and that would then be your cue to start taking action, or at least go into TrendTracker to see, hey, what's going on? Start building a hypothesis about why that potentially could be going on, and then go into the ad account, or maybe go to the site and identify that bottleneck and start improving it.
Yeah, this is like why we've called this whole conversation about saving time to get shit done, because being able to
100%.
isolate that in that kind of speed, and know that the data is based off your, not only your feed, but obviously your KPIs.
Yeah, it's KPIs, could be
exciting.
industry benchmarks, could be a combination of both. If you don't set your KPIs, it will be based on the industry benchmarks. Either way, there is going to be a tangible, relevant metric that is going to be the anchor, where we're going to compare your performance. And whether you then take action or not, that's to you. That's not something I can help you with. Something that we're going to implement anytime soon as well. Everything that I'm saying now is foreseeable future. That doesn't mean it's going to be next week, but it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. One of the things are stop loss rules. Those are more complex rules that you could 100% set up in Ads Manager, sure, or you can sort of pay a third-party tool to set those up for you, but we're going to build them for you inside of TrendTracker. And then the only thing what you need to do is you just need to enable them. Full stop. And then you're going to get a notification if, for example, your spend is 3x, you spend 3 times more than, you spend 3x the CPA, cost per acquisition, but you didn't get a sale in that specific time frame. That's where you want to get notified if that happens. And then the notification could be, hey, Kadia, this happened. You might want to consider pausing this campaign and restart it in the morning to keep the profitability for this specific ad or campaign or ad set. If you then do that, that's up to you. But we at least notified you that's going on.
Fantastic. Now, do we need to keep your screen shared, or can you see your face for a little bit?
No, I just want to show you one
more thing.
One more thing. So this is a big one. Because with these notifications and with all the data we have implemented AI, GPT-4 to be precise.
There we go. Yeah.
To give you with literally one click of a button, you're going to get a performance summary. And I'm going to show you V1, and we're going to implement V2. The implementation of V2 is, I'm going to show you in the browser interface here in a sec. But what we do is when you go into TrendTracker, hold on, and you click generate, you can see here we force you to set your goals for those KPIs first. As soon as you've done that, you can actually generate your performance summary. For now, we're only doing it at the top level biz KPIs, but it's going to look like this. And if this isn't going to save you at least 30 minutes a day, then I don't know what will. Hold on, let me just refresh.
And while you're refreshing, I think, again, I'm going to keep hammering home about this. Something like this is only as good as the parameters you give it, right? So if you don't put in your proper, average order value targets, or, exactly what you need for your business, this is just going to give you a guide, not an actual overview, or not even necessarily the right data. So please, people, keep that in mind.
But that's why we're now building these benchmark data sets in the back end, and we're going to populate these goals for you, because we just want to make it as easy for our users as possible to get this data quickly. And then so what we're going to do here is it's going to generate an overview for the specific KPI. This is V1, guys. I'm going to show you V2 in the GPT-4 browser extension in a sec. So we're going to give you a summary of the actual performance. There's going to be a little list on how the performance is actually stacking up against your KPIs. There's a little summary. We got a screenshot feature where you can create a screenshot from the data table. And then there's strategy suggestions. These strategy suggestions are really poor, but I think I cracked the code on how to give really good strategy suggestions based on the actual performance, whether it's compared to your goals or compared to industry benchmarks. And then you can do with this whatever you want. You can copy it. We're probably going to build in something that you can share this with a client. So this is actually working and good to go now, but we'll be getting a huge upgrade in somewhere early next week. I want to show you one thing. It's so
exciting for a lot of people. But at the same time, I think if you're a media buyer, I think you've got to embrace this stuff. Like if you're not utilizing this, the people that are going to completely overtake you in terms of speed of optimization, insight, and being able to deliver. So I keep saying this. It's like these tools, especially as a marketer, aren't necessarily here to take over your job. They're here to enhance it, especially something like this. So,
100%.
People need it.
100%. Yeah. This is, can you see my ChatGPT screen here? Okay, so just want to show you where this is going and what we're already testing. And sure, this is I'm testing this in a web interface, but we already have it built in the back end, but we want to get the benchmark data first. So check it out. This prompt is going to summarize and in lists it's going to identify the underperforming KPIs. It's going to give 2 hypotheses why a certain KPI could be underperforming. And then it's going to give you 5 optimization recommendations on how to counter that. Fucking insane. Yeah. Actual performance KPIs. So this is great. Looking at the traffic convert, there are several areas that are underperforming. This is all underperforming. And look, you can share this one-on-one with your client. You can share this one-on-one with your client. You don't have to start writing this anymore. It's being written for you. Let's start with the underperforming KPI. The outbound CTR could be underperforming because 2 hypotheses. Here are some optimization suggestions. I would suggest the following for these and these and these KPIs. And then it stopped here. But it's freaking insane, and it's going to get only better. And if you could only take 1 or 2 optimization suggestions from here that you maybe didn't think of yourself, boom, you're a winner, and you're taking it home.
It's there you go. Stop. Stop. There we go. Hi. I'll put my camera back on because I was thinking that I didn't want to mess it up. If I can. I think the interesting thing about it really is being able to have that kind of information, but at the same time, I think it's really important to at this stage make sure you've got it's there I am. Hi. I think it's really important as well for especially people who have got media buying experience to make sure that they are not taking necessarily as at face value right now, right? Do you think that's important? So make sure you utilize your as a starting point and not take it as gospel at this stage? Or do you think it's at that stage where you could kind of pass it on and not have to worry about it?
The AI.
Yeah, the output, the information you just showed us, so like the GPT elements of it.
Initially, you can take it now. You can 100% take it.
Right.
Yeah. So what we're doing is what we found out is that GPT-4 isn't really good at math. The AI in general isn't really good at math. So I think they're building plugins that are specifically for math. So what we're doing, we are calculating the actual outcomes. Right. We are calculating the actual outcomes and the actual averages and give that in a dynamic prompt. So the actual if it says that there's a negative trend, it is negative because we already calculated that. And the optimization suggestions it then gives are solid. Yeah. Here's the thing. For an advanced, experienced media buyer, they could be a little bit like, this is fairly broad, or I can do better, or whatever. Sure, I'm pretty sure, but there's also stuff in there and like, oh, that's actually pretty good.
Mm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to train a messenger bot that sort of insight that's going to live inside of TrendTracker with more in-depth content about optimizations for specific topics. We're going to do that. That's a different story. And what we're going to do as well is we're going to add a courses section inside of TrendTracker, where we're going to have course creators that are going to publish specific segments of their course on specific topics inside of TrendTracker. So you can add, if you have questions about a specific recommendation or suggestion, you can get more in-depth information from that specific course, and then trying to pull everything together there.
Fantastic. And I think that's such the reason I asked that. Obviously a lot of most actually all AI is basically the whole way it's structured is it needs to follow an objective, right? And if it's not given the parameters that like you guys have, it will do anything to get there. So not necessarily it's always going to give you the right information. So this is why I asked that, and I think it's really important for a lot of people who are utilizing these tools just without giving parameters and experience and applications of basically stopgaps and rules to get to that objective. You're going to get all these different potentials.
You're gonna get gibberish. Yeah, no, it's gonna get really odd. So my end goal with the AI sort of summary generator and optimization suggestions is to have it generate suggestions based on our own database. So now it's pulling in from its, I don't know how many billion parameters it has. It's pretty good. And the more specific we make our prompt, it's pretty good. It's probably better. It's for the majority of the population, it's going to give eye openers, and it's going to give tools and proper recommendation. Oh, I didn't think about that. And then, but I want to go a little bit deeper and create a database where we then tie in, but that's sort of a whole different ball game. Let's not go into that.
No, we won't. But I think, look, I guess why I wanted to bring this up is obviously the interface is great, but again, a lot of the stuff is only as good as the minds behind it. And I think that's why I'm very excited about the fact that it's you building it, obviously, because you understand the space. You understand what's required in order to deliver a great campaign. You understand the metrics, you understand the mathematics, you understand the stats. So I think people need to be really wary of tools that are saving the world out there when it comes to ads and stuff, unless the people behind it actually know their shit. And that's why I'm so excited for what you're doing. And I think it's something that could really help a lot of freelancers, smaller agencies, even bigger agencies trying to really optimize the stuff and help people faster and get better results.
100%. So I had a call with an agency a couple of days ago, and they actually reached out and said, hey, dude, what you're doing with TrendTracker is what we're doing manually already for the last couple of years. And we're using Data Studio or whatever, and Data Studio keeps breaking. And it's freaking annoying. Can you help? And even, so I guess that's sort of a spin-off of this as well, is so we're now looking at, and the funny thing is that sort of 80% of what they have in their Google Sheets, we already have it in TrendTracker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work with these guys and to make a few adjustments which are relevant for the general TrendTracker population as well. But then this agency can just sort of save, I don't know, a couple hours per day, because they just click a button, it pulls in the data automatically in the browser, and they got the exact same data, but then sort of in the cloud, if you wish, instead of Google Sheet. Google Sheet is the cloud, but you get the point.
I get it. And the thing is with a lot of those tools is that, as you mentioned, the data feeds break, or it's not robust, or there's a lag, or there's a whole lot of stuff that just doesn't bring you the right thing. So I think it's great, and I'm really, really, really excited to see where this goes. And as I said, I think, and I don't say this lightly, but your shit. And I think people need to be a lot more, go into a lot of this stuff with eyes open, with a lot of these tools and a lot of things out there, and make sure and validate the people behind it actually have the intelligence and the knowledge and the know-how to be able to construct the right technology, the right prompts to be able to deliver the outcomes that people really need. So, I think this is going to be amazing, and I can't wait to follow your journey. So how do people find out more about this if they want to give it a go, or they want to...
TrendTracker.io. TrendTracker.io. That's it. Go to TrendTracker.io. So here's the plan. So we are open. People are creating accounts. We're working with, I think we have 40 people signed up now. We're extending the trial, which means everybody who signs up now, you technically sign up to a 14-day trial, but we're not yet enforcing that trial. The main reason for that is because we're just adding some stuff, and then I just want to sort of make sure that everybody hits their trial with sort of the majority of the features actually available. So goal is we're opening up to 100 paid subscribers. As soon as we hit the 100, we're going to close shop and we're going to work with these, what I call founding members. These founding members are going to be crucial. The feedback from these founding members is going to be crucial on how we're further going to develop and refine TrendTracker as we go. Then we're going to open up shop after whatever time that would be, and then the price is going to significantly increase as well. But for now, sign up for a free trial, get the chance to become a founding member if you decide to do so. It's not going to be the price. The price is not going to be the reason that you don't want to become a founding member at some point, because we set it now with, I think, $37 per month. And for founding members, you're going to get everything plus more.
I just think about if you think about what it would take optimization for, oh my God, that's amazing.
But it's not, it's not about the price. It's more, I got my reasons why I'm doing this. I want to get these 100 people in. I want to work with them to sort of, to really make them founding members and really sort of build out the platform further based on their feedback. And then, we'll take over the world after that, 100%.
Yes. Hey, and just quickly, this is just for e-com businesses at this stage? Yeah, brilliant. Okay,
for now, it's just e-com. Yeah, for now, it's just e-com. For now, it's only Facebook. We have our Shopify app, so we are working on pulling in Shopify data to also be able to report on MER and acquisition costs for new customer, sort of new returning customers, et cetera, all that. Other channels, definitely on the roadmap. I think the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate TrendTracker, and then we'll make it available for lead gen. I think that's going to be the next logical step, and then then we'll have it available for lead gen as well. Same but different, just different KPIs.
See how it goes. Amazing. Hey, well, that was awesome, and thank you so much. And as I said, I can't wait to. We're using it within our agency at the moment, and Chris, who's been playing around with it, is just kind of blown away by the level of time saved, and obviously being able to, get insights faster. I think that's the main thing, and be able to test faster. So, thank you. And as you said, TrendTracker.io, I think it's going to be a game changer for agencies and rock and roll. Keep us posted on anything else. And,
thank you so much. All right, thanks, man.
Well, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yeah, I will if I manage to get out of the world of. I'm gonna turn it off and all this stuff. Oh my god! Are
you still recording? Is the mic still on?
I'm trying to. Yeah, sure. All right, we're gonna hang up. Bye.
Bye.